Hi fellow crafters, welcome back. I'm Becky with Flutter and Fibers, and today we are kicking off week 3 of the Chaos Blanket. I hope that you will follow along and do one of your own, and if you do, please let me know down in the comments. Feel free to post pictures of your progress. I'd love to see them. In the previous weeks, we've been working on the foundation for this blanket, as well as a couple different stitches that were chosen by our random selector. We started out with 2 rows of a single crochet, and then last week we did 1 row of the V-stitch. This week, let's find out what we're going to be doing. Let's roll that spinner to see what color we're starting with this week. Oh, that's a good one. That should go really nicely with the colors we've used in the past weeks. All right, next up we have the stitch type. Half double crochet. That's another pretty easy one. I wonder when we're actually going to get to one of the mystery stitches. Guess we'll see. All right, the last one we need to know is how many rows are we doing? Hey, we're gonna make some progress on the blanket this week. We've got 4 rows. Easy peasy. Next, I'm going to show you how to do the half double crochet. As the spinner indicated, we are going to work in a few rows of the half double crochet today. So last week we left off with our brown, and thankfully today we have forest. This is a great rich green, and I'm telling you, this is giving me some serious Christmas vibes here. So to get this color in, we are going to again pull out this first stitch of the brown so that we have 2 loops left on our hook. And then I will bring up this green, and I want to leave enough of a tail on there that I can weave it in. And it looks kind of long on the video, but it's actually only maybe 4 or 5 inches. So I'll lay it over the hook here, and I'm just going to bring it through both of those loops. And then I will give a little tug to this end of the brown so that it can tighten down there a little bit. So essentially this green loop now replaces the brown loop that was on there before. So I'm going to bring up my working yarn. This is the working end because it's the long one that's attached to the ball. And now I will start my stitches. But before I can start my stitches, I do need to turn. So I'm going to do 1 single chain, and then I will flip this over so that all of my blanket strip is coming from the left. And this is of course for right-handed crocheting. If you are left-handed, there are lots of videos out there for you. I unfortunately do not know how to left-hand crochet, so you'll have to look those up on your own. This stitch is easy. All we're going to do is yarn over, then we are going to insert it into this first hole, just like that. Then we're going to yarn over again and pull through. So very similar to what we've been doing on the other stitches. Now this one, we're going to yarn over 1 more time, and easy peasy, we're bringing it through all 3 loops. So it looks like that. Now we're going to do that one more time. Over, in, over, through, over, all 3, over, in, over, through, over, through all 3. And that's it. We don't have to count stitches that we're jumping over like we did on the previous V-stitch. We just put one of these stitches into each of the stitches in brown, or whatever color, of course, that you're working on. I'm going to continue going through this first row, and then I will come back when I get to the end. I know I said I'd see you at the end, But I wanted to jump in here and just mention a couple of things. So you may recall that we had some stitch markers placed throughout. If you still have these in there, that's great. If not, no big. But what this did is it reminded me to take a look at this first section that I've done, just to make sure that I have caught all of the right stitches along here. How are they doing? Have I missed any? Did I accidentally do any single crochets instead of half double crochets if I didn't loop over enough times? And I will tell you, there were plenty of times that I did not loop over before inserting, so I only had 2 loops on my hook, and then I had to, go back and grab that loop. So I was repeating yarn over a lot to myself. Just to give you a quick tip, if you have a darker yarn like I do, and you're wondering if your stitches are going in the right place, what you can do is just turn your yarn just a little bit, and here on the top you can see that there are the V's. So here's a V right there. So that tells you where each of these individual stitches are that you are trying to insert into. Now some of them are really obvious, like this one here, you can see the hole right through it. There is one here too, if we look up, there it is. But the hole isn't as easy to see. So what you do is you make sure that when you are putting your hook in, that you are looking at the top and you're like, oh, okay, there's 2. I gotta get both those 2 onto my hook. So I have 2 on the top, and then you can see down here, there's 1 on the bottom. Now actually, oh, look right there. Can you see that? Let me see if I can get this in a little bit better. Hopefully it doesn't get blurry, but do you see that? That means that little one that's on the top there, that is actually a leftover strand from when I inserted my hook. So I need to carefully back out of there, make sure that I get both of those onto my hook. There, now I have, do I have what I need? I don't. See, so this is not always the easiest with dark yarns, but there, 3rd time is a charm. I've got 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom. So that's how I know where I need to go through. Let's keep going. When we started this row with the brown for the V stitches, we started out with a couple of chains, and I had placed the stitch marker at the top of those chains. So that would indicate the last stitch in this row. So you can see here, I've got this one and then 1 more here. So I'll do those, yarn over, pull through 3, and then this last one, I've already unhooked this so I don't have to fiddle with it. This one could be a little challenging to get through. So you can see the 2V, the front loop and the back loop, and I need to find the spot underneath. So I'm going to make this a little bit easier for myself by coming up from underneath into that front loop, and then coming from behind and just grabbing that back loop. So I'm just putting it on my finger, and I'm going to try to scooch this back loop on just like that. Just take your time, and if you have to, just back out gently. But there you can see, I got it the first time. Oh, but do you see what I did? I forgot to yarn over. I have done that so many times on this row, partially because I'm also working on a different project at the same time. And that one, just with muscle memory, I keep wanting to do just a single stitch, or I try to add a chain in between because that's what the other one has. So try this again. Got the first loop on there. Can I get the second loop on the first try? I might have jinxed myself the first time. Oh, nope, I got it. Okay, so now I'm going to pull through. So I have 3 loops on my hook, and then pull through all 3. Now this process is going to be the same for all of the subsequent rows that I'm going to do with this half double crochet. We will just do a chain 1, and then we will flip this over like this. I'm going to use this, gotta remember, I inserted it on the other end after I kept going, but this is how we do it. So we've got our chain 1, We have turned it over. Now we're going to loop over or yarn over, insert, pull through. There we go. Before we go any further, that is our first stitch, which will then be the last stitch when we come back. So we put this back in and lock it up so it doesn't fall out. And then I'm going to keep doing the same thing all the way to the end. Well, I've reached the end. You can see here we have our first 2 rows of the single, and then we had the brown, which was for the V-stitch, and then finally this week we have the 4 rows of our half double crochet. So that's coming along pretty well. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please do click like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that you will know when the next one comes out. Also, if you know other people who like to crochet, please share this with friends. The more the merrier. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye. It's just random, which I happen to like these days, the stitch type and the number of rows that we are going to be doing. If you've been following me through the process, as you've been following me as we progress, we started out with a single crochet, and then we went to a double crochet, then to the V-stitch. What did we do? No. I know what I'm doing. Oh, we had 2. It's been 3 weeks. Why would I remember? Jay. And then last week we did roll that random selector. Ooh, let's see. What can we call it? Let's roll that spinner. If you like this video, please do click like. Then click subscribe. Oh my gosh. And remember to turn on those notifications so you see when we come out with the next video. We, who's we? Me, myself, and I. Happy Friday. Oh, this won't post on a Friday, but who cares? Whew.